All right, what's up, everybody? Wanted to put that intro in here as the reminder. Let's go back really quick. Plan, trigger, and waiting. This is where you fuck up. We just had one of the best weekends that we possibly could have had. If you were in the chat, it was awesome. We crushed Ethereum a bunch of different ways, and one of the most profitable weekends that I've had since obviously the down weekend, and hopefully you did too. But I put this in here because if you didn't have a great weekend, that's okay. But usually this is the reason why. Did you have a plan? Did you wait for a trigger? And while you were waiting, did you fuck up? So let's talk through, we're going to talk through Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ethereum Bitcoin for a second here, give you guys the rundown to go into the week. So let's start here with Bitcoin. Looking at this chart, looks pretty good. I mean, we've had lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Looking pretty shitty. I mean, when we were down here, it was like, hey, if we don't hold this, if you recall, I had that one chart that was annotated and said this is like our last hope, and it fucking held. It was like essentially this line right here, and it held exactly that on 29. So thank fuck for that. And then we get this rip all the way up. I mean, we essentially had an entire week plus of just a straight rip to the top end of the range. So if you think about this, we essentially have an enormous range here that's been built, and you kind of pull out, you see this DTL is where price stopped, okay? Now, there's a couple things to consider here on Bitcoin. First off, you can look at this and go, hey, we got a higher high. Maybe we come down here, make a higher low. This is all very productive, and that's what I'd like to have happen. But is this a higher high, or is this a double top? So I don't want to, shit on this really quick, but you got, hey, there's one, potentially there's two. So we're not like... This is not like, hey, risk off, guys. Like, let's just go, or risk on. Let's just go nuts and absolutely throw our whole accounts into this thing. Like, it could not be great. So don't be stupid out there. We still got to protect our capital. But I like where we're sitting. We kind of rejected where you'd think we would. But you go back here, and there's not a whole lot in place. That's why I have the sanitation over here. There's an enormous void of volume all the way to like 45, 46,000, which is great. So if we can get back and get through all of this, like we'll get up to this 45, 46, like without much problem at all. We go all the way to 48, quite frankly, without any problems whatsoever. There's been some crazy call volume. There was a call spread put bought for December yesterday with like big dick money for 140,000 and 200,000. So bought 140,000 Bitcoin, sold 200,000. That's a pretty big spread, and somebody with a lot of money bought it. So there's reasons to be bullish, but not reasons to throw the baby out with the bathwater because we had a good weekend. So keep an eye out for that. But essentially, what we're looking for right now, this level, this 40, like we came up and we got rejected, and that's okay. If we go straight up, we'll come straight back down, and that I don't have any problem with that. So I put this little note in here. This is what we're looking for. We want a higher low above 34.6. If we get that higher low above 34.6, it's still very bullish to me. So if we do this, come down, you'll see me posting like, hey, let's get fucking long again, and hopefully we will get that, okay? So that's what we're looking for on Bitcoin at this moment. Let's switch over to Ethereum, where we had an absolutely bonkers weekend. I mean, could not have been better. I can't even go over all the setups that we had, but I mean, we were long from 21, from 22, from 23. I mean, I even gave you the mid-signal long at 24.35. Like I posted it the morning of that it was probably going to go long. So it was absolutely nuts. And where did it stop? Well, exactly where you thought it should. It stopped exactly where you would expect. There was this little pivot over on this side, kicked everything right back down, okay? I'm not worried about that. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 green bars in a row. Okay, it's pretty fucking good, guys. We're talking about 2 weeks essentially that we've been going on this thing without any issues. So yeah, I expect some volatility, but people are like, oh shit, it's going to turn back down. Well, it's turning down at resistance, guys. Like, what do you want? This was resistance. Whenever you have a pivot, okay, guys, like we talked about when we talked about technical analysis, this is a pivot. It's where price turns. It takes a lot of effort for price to turn like that. When price turns, there's a history of it. So we get up to this area and it forms resistance. So we rejected off of it yesterday. But you can see that, the next leg up to 2,800 is not far away. And then this is the note that matters. This next red box is kind of what we are hoping we can clear. 2770 to 2900. Like if we get past that, you'll see us rip to 4,000 in like a weekend. Okay, like in a weekend. Now, that's I just want to be clear. That's not when we get to right here, you buy, okay? It's you see real breakout and then you'll see it happen, because and a lot of times what happens is you'll get people excited who know this is going to happen and it's boom, okay? And you get rinsed on your way out. So you got to be careful. You got to look for confirmation. But this is the big, the next big kind of the last hurdle before we would get back to this like upper 3,000, 4,000 range. But again, just like Bitcoin, you know, I kind of see this as the same way as anything else, right? Higher low above 2,300, and I'll remain outrageously bullish, apparently, because I missed the H. Bullish. I'm not going to go back and record this for one letter. I'll remain outrageously bullish if we can do even this, okay? Like that is super good. That would flip this resistance back to support, and it would prove it. You'll see me getting super long, and I'll obviously post that. Oh, shit. Didn't mean to do that. I will post that in the... either Stacked Labs chat or into the announcement channel if you're interested. So keep an eye out for that. Now, here is the fun one. We posted this. This is the last thing that I threw onto the announcement channel as a, hey, you guys should get long. And I've said this before. If it goes into the announcement channel, it is very, very well vetted. The stuff that I put into the Stacked Labs chat, stuff that I see intraday, some triggers here and there, maybe a little bit less vetted. But if I put it in the announcement channel, I'm not just throwing any random bullshit out there, okay? So this is what I posted on the 29th. So it was along at, I don't know, what is that, 58.12? 58.12, which obviously corresponds with Ethereum's big run up on the 29th too, which was, where were they at that start of the day, like 2,200. So obviously pretty good. And this is where we are now. Okay, so we've had a 13% rip from that post. And I was talking about it this morning in the Stacked Labs chat. You can only, like, just, if all you do is play the game of switching your collateral back and forth, which is what I have actually on this page, where it's like, hey, sell BTC, buy ETH, sell ETH, buy BTC. Like, you can just play this chart back and forth and really, really increase your total tokens. Now, I said, I made the distinction this morning, I'm up 13% in my total tokens, which means I'm up even more in cash because Ethereum has gone up in that point. My game is I'm macro bullish long term, right? So that's my game. I'm macro bullish long term, so I want to acquire more tokens. Now, sometimes you're acquiring more tokens as USD is going down. You're like, well, that's shitty. Yeah, I got more, but everything's worth less. But this is one of those times where I'm acquiring more tokens and those tokens have gone up. This is a 13% move relative to Bitcoin, and it's a hell of a lot more than that in terms of cash, and we've been trading it anyway. So, you know, it's been a hell of a really good move, and it's why you really need to look at all three of these charts all the time to know what's going on and create your plan and create your strategy. So I like where we are here. I would expect to see a rejection at like 67.86 over here on the side, probably come back down, and you might even see this 50 retested, okay? So something to look at. I could see something like this. So you go, oh, well, shit, I thought it was going to be all the way up to the top. No, like a 33% move relative to Bitcoin does not happen in a week, okay? It takes time. So you'll see some rejection. It could just also get to the top here and flag and then break out. So, you know, it could go either way. But once we clear that pivot, there's really nothing stopping it before 76, and then I would expect it to go even further from there. So it was a very, very productive weekend. And something about the song, I'm going to play it again because the words in it feel glorious. Obviously, we had a great weekend. Chance to start again. It's who I am. How could I forget? Like, obviously, I'm not big into inspirational shit, but like, it's who I am. Yeah, I was born for this. I got a chance to start again. Like, you got to think about that. You got to, like, most of this game is mental, guys. 10% is, you know, technical analysis. 90% is mental. If you didn't have a great weekend, that's okay. If you didn't thread all these moves, that's okay. Come hang out in Stacked Labs. Come ask questions if you want to. You got a chance to start again every day in trading. It's why this is the best profession in the world. It's why you can make millions on your own merits. And hopefully we will do that together. So anyway, I'm going to try to stream today, although I do have a golf outing this morning. And if I'm not streaming today, I will definitely try to tomorrow morning. And then we'll be back on after that. So thanks, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend, and let's get this money.